What's going on, my friend?
How you doing, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Enjoyed that little segment you did there. That was beautifully said. Well said.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just
and to me,
go ahead.
A quick death would have been more like revenge, where it's supposed to, bring this guy down, like you said, and having it stand trial. And, whatever happens after that point. But that could be true punishment can be dealt out.
But then again, I'm just thinking about that. As you said what you're saying, I'm thinking about it. He's going to go back to prison. He's going to go back to being able to practice his religion in jail, his so-called religion, and well, unless they give him the death penalty, which I'm sure he'll get if he's convicted of this. But it'll be 10, 12 years from now. See, the whole thing is to go to trial, get him convicted, and then murder him in front of everybody. And put that up on the internet. Put him in the friggin' chair. Don't give him an injection. Let him go to sleep. I want to see this fuck fry. That's what I want to see.
Well, they want to bring us back to the Stone Age days, essentially. Well, why don't we just get a set of stocks out there in the town center and let with a pile of rocks, and whoever feels like it can pick up a rock and toss it at the son of a bitch.
Well, if he did something in Islam, that's what they'd have done to him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what they'd have done to him. He'd have been
down
stoned.
To their terms.
Not the stoned everybody likes, though.
Yeah, but to me, it's a strong opinion. But I truly believe that's a treasonous act. When you're acting in the name of Allah or Islam or whatever the case might be, to me, that's a treasonous act against another American. You're not representing your country. To me, I think if we got strong, imagine if we started charging them with treason. Maybe they think twice about what they're going to be doing.
But the whole thing there, Ernie, the question is that's what I'm talking about. To start, they have to start. This has been going on for years now. This is nothing new. The ISIS is stronger and more leaner than the past Al Qaeda's. Yeah, but it's the same thing. And if this president would have had his head in the game and get out of the ideology game, this could have been averted. And maybe, just maybe, those 4 people that got beheaded over there would have still been alive today. And the hundreds that were, or thousands that were killed within the time that this reign of terror took over, maybe those people wouldn't have died if he would have just done what he was supposed to do. That's my point about all this.
They're ruthless, man, even with their own people.
Yeah.
They don't care. You either are with them, you pay them in gold and silver, or you're dead. That's it. That's your 3 options. And
they're saying now, I heard somewhere, that it's possible they may have used chemical weapons too now.
I believe if they had the capability to do that and they had that stuff, they would use it.
Well, they took
without
over.
A doubt.
They took
without
over what, a third of Syria now. So we know there are chemical weapons there. They've taken over equipment we've left behind. Why couldn't they take that over? Why couldn't they take it and use it?
Well, whatever they need, I'm sure the Iranians or somebody's going to be willing to accommodate them with the money that they apparently have. So they got the funds to get whatever they need in that regard, and that's a scary scenario, man.
That's true, my friend. That's very true. But the whole point of this basically is to bring to the forefront the fact that this administration, this government, all of them will not admit to the fact that we are under siege by radical Islamic terrorists who happen to be Muslim.
You can't pussyfoot around, man. You got to call it what it is, and that's what it is. I don't care if it's profile, whatever the hell you want to call it. You got to call it the way it is, and that is the way it is, man.
That's exactly
right. For them
to
tap dance around it, it's bullshit, man. You got to get tough with these sons of bitches. They ain't going to recognize weakness. They ain't going to recognize, words. We got to slam these sons of bitches wherever they are out there. bring them out of existence. Man.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, why? What do they have to be afraid of? Bombings? Yeah, but they know it's coming. I'm sure, they have. This president outlines everything he's going to do and everything he's not going to do. So they know what's coming. They know what's not coming. And they know there isn't a force on this planet other than ours on the ground that can defeat them. And they know this.
At the end of 2011, they were hell-bent on getting the troops home for Christmas so they could be with their loved ones, while they patted each other on the back in the Oval Office for the great job they did bringing to an end the war in Iraq and bringing all our soldiers home, when they were warned many, many times by many intelligent people on both sides of the aisle that we need to maintain a presence there. That was still a shaky democracy, still getting off the ground, still fledgling, still unchallenged in many ways, and still being challenged in many ways as well. And, we needed to maintain that presence. Like you were saying the other day, as soon as they knew we were coming out, they would announce that, okay, we'll see you later. The vacuum was filled. You could hear that sucking sound, and it was these sons of bitches coming in from the north down through Iraq. And, we know what the military we trained did. They all laid down their weapons and, went by the old, they'd rather live on their knees than die on their feet. They just don't get the American ethos, man, and what we're about. And, for us to foolhardily think they did have it is our bad, man.
Well, that's because they haven't had a Marine up their ass. That's why. They don't know what it's like to have a U.S. Army infantryman follow them and put a bayonet up their asses, followed by Navy bombardment and the Marines coming in. This, you see, they want to talk, they want to kill people, if this president ever unleashed the military might against these people, we'd crush them in a matter of months. They wouldn't exist. They'd have to go elsewhere, like maybe to the moon to exist. And why he won't do this is beyond me. This man's head is not in the game.
Yeah, that's the call that's made, man. You got to step aside, let your Joint Chiefs and the military handle the situation, and you got to give them whatever they need to get the job done. And you can't be looking back here at polls and public sentiment. This tough decision, you're in the Oval Office, the buck stops there, you got to make the call, man. And, that's just the way it is, man. When you're the big boy wearing the big pants, you got to make the big decisions. And they ain't always going to be popular. But it's what we got to do.
You're absolutely right. Did
you see Netanyahu's speech today at the UN?
No, I did not.
Oh, Jay, you got to watch the replay later tonight. He gave an amazing speech today, and he named what he thought was a worse threat to normal democracies and freedom-loving people around the world. And his number one threat over and above ISIS was Iran.
Oh, sure, of course.
And all the underhanded, nefarious activities that they're involved with around this world, man. And and they're still seeking, getting their own version of the nuclear weapon capability. And you got to watch that speech. And those listening out there now, you got to watch that. It was a tremendous speech, man. This guy tells it like it is. This Netanyahu.
He usually does.
He usually does. Talking about how all these warnings, like you were talking about, prior to any bombing raid, they send these leaflets, they send emails, they get even on Arab TV and broadcasts that they're coming in there, get the hell out of there. So they're trying to save lives when these fellow, Hamas, taking away their own people's lives, man, by where they're situated. And he laid that all out very clear, concise manner, and they're like us. We ain't about killing civilians, man. That ain't what we're about.
No, it's not. And everybody knows it. And anybody that's got a brain in their head knows that. It's only the stupid people or the ideologues that push that stupid shit about, you're killing. Well, that's what war is about. That's war. That's what it's about. It's about killing people. And innocent people, sadly enough, die. Nobody wants that. Nobody goes out and does it, except people like Hamas and ISIS. And these people, those are the people that don't give a shit who they kill and when they kill.
They hide behind the kids and the women and the children, man.
That's exactly right.
Them. They got their roads.
So I don't even know how they can get this argument out there.
What the hell you got to wear a mask for?
Because they're cowards, Ernie. They're cowards. I want to take a quick minute to say hello to Southern Cowboy and Barco, who's in the chat room. By the way, Barco, Navy bombardment in the middle of the desert. It's not actually a desert. Syria can be bombed, that's what they're doing, either from the Black Sea or from the Mediterranean or even from the Caspian. So, just because you're in the desert doesn't mean we can't reach it. Just thought I'd lay that out for you. Go ahead, Ernie. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Every target, every race within our range. There's no doubt about it. From submarines, battleships.
All right, here we go. Barco saying it's exactly what ISIS wants the U.S. to do. It helps their recruiting and their position in the Islamic world and various. Come on, Barco. Really? Are you serious about this? Or are you just doing this to break my balls? What is it? Are you serious? The various governments and citizens of Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia were up for taking on ISIS on their own. So why didn't they do it? What do they need us for? So if that's the case, why don't they just do it? Why hasn't it been eradicated? Why don't they go out there and just do it? What do they need us for? Why do we have to train Syrian or Iraqi guardsmen? Or why do we have to train them if they're so good? Why don't they go out and do it? Oh, so the reasoning behind this is that once the Americans, USA shows up, suddenly ISIS becomes the good guys defending Islam from the great Satan, USA. So that's what, but do you understand who they're talking to, Barco? I mean, if you're serious about what you're saying, do you know who they're talking to? They're talking to felons, for people who don't have anywhere else to go. They're twisting their minds and they're giving them lies because this is what they choose to believe. This isn't something that the vast majority of people on the planet believe. It's only a select few. All right, they number in the thousands, tens of thousands. But if we put our foot down and just went at it the right way, straight ahead, listen, this is what we're going to do. This isn't how we're going to do it. This isn't what we're not going to do. I mean, and lay it out straight. Who cares what other people say? Let them recruit all they want, because once we flatten them and level them and take them off and wipe them off the face of the planet, there's no place for these people to volunteer to. Go ahead, Ernie.
Gee, to put it plain, they're freaking murderers. They're psychopaths. They have no clue. They have no clue what life is all about, human life, man. They have no regard for, like I said, anything. They'll take anybody out, including their own people. It's evil, man. It's an evil menace, man. It's something that's got to be eradicated, man. You got to get rid of it. You got to wipe it out, man. You got to wipe it out, whatever way you got to do it. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts.
You're right.
Otherwise, Barco, get ready. They're going to be hitting the Motor City, man.
Well, he's saying it now. If you're reading the chat, Ernie, he says they were doing it. That's why ISIS panicked and released those beheading videos. He says he's serious. We don't have the stomach or resources for more war right now. You know what? We don't. But you know what? That doesn't mean we can't do it. We have to do it. We must do it. Because if we don't, look what happens. Now it's starting to happen here. Here, Barco, a woman was just beheaded by a maniac who was fired and now screaming Allah Akbar, whatever the hell it is, they scream in Islamic while he cut a friggin' head off in an American company warehouse. Come on, Barco. What's the matter with you? I understand what you're trying to say, but just because they use it and twist and turn our words, then you know what? It's time for the Americans and this side to send out our own information and what's going on. And whoever believes it, believes it. And if you don't like it, too bad. But the proof of the pudding will be when we decimate ISIS. That's the proof that we need, when they're gone and finished and don't exist anymore.
We have to have the stomach and the fortitude and the strength to continue, man. It's something that we got to stay vigilant about. It ain't something that's going to be done during this administration or probably the next administration or the one after that, Jay.
Barco says air attacks do nothing except strengthen the resolve and recruitment of ISIS and their supporters. All right, so that means we should just stop bombing because, what? It strengthens their resolve? I don't think so. I think it scares their shit out of them. It ain't going to do the job, that I'll tell you. The only way this job gets done is if American troops go and do it. It's the only way this is going to get done. Otherwise, this is going to go on for much longer than anybody can imagine. So, if the,
Yeah.